Pleasant evening to you all. Um, Today has been a rough day, filled with different emotions, different feelings, thoughts from anxiety to anger to outrage to numbness, because this is just has gotten so old, and we're dealing with the quarantine and things like that, and now we're dealing with this tragedy that happened in Georgia. And you have everybody that, they're coming out with their different thoughts on it, and especially we as believers that walk in it as ambassadors um, on this earth. We're being reminded not to hate, not to let the hate consume you, not to um, be vengeful, because vengeance belongs to God. Um, and even forgiveness, because you have to forgive in order to be forgiven. But the people who already have malice in their hearts, that's what they're gonna feel, that's what they're gonna act on. The people who are already are forgiving and soft-hearted, the people who genuinely love people, they're hurting more because they can't force themselves to hate. They can't make themselves hate. And the world will make you feel like you're some type of weakling, or you're some type of fool to not be filled with hate and vengeance, and not take your anger and and be foolish with your anger. The Bible says, "Be angry, but sin not." So the world will make you think that you're soft, you're weak, and you're not soft, and you're not weak. Um, for being hurt, and for still having the capacity to love, and to love our fellow man, and to forgive the people who hurt us. Um, so there's different perspectives, there's different energies about it. It's hurtful, and we're tired as a people. um and not all people, well, not all our Caucasian uh brothers and sisters are racist. That's the thing too. It's just hard. But me just sitting here feeling the way I'm feeling. I've watched the video a few times, and the first time I watched it, when that young man's body hit the ground, it took the wind out of me when I saw that young man's body hit the ground. But he fought until the end. He was running, minding his own business. Good evening, Miss Joyce. Minding his own business, he was running, and he was literally pursued and hunted down. And as I watched it, I didn't want to jump off into the, oh, it was because he was black. I mean, all of that narrative, all of that is already there. Everybody that watched that video, I honestly don't need to see any more than what I saw. I saw evil. That's what I saw. I saw evil at its finest. Hunted that young man down and took his life. I saw pride, which God hates pride. I saw pride. I saw malice. I saw evil. That's what I saw. But even though, in spite of all that evil, in spite of being outnumbered, and the people that outnumbered him had weapons, Ahmaud fought for his life. He fought up until the very end. And when I watched him fight to the very end of his life. It took me to a movie. It's a very popular movie, Harlem Nights. And there was a particular scene in that movie where the late great Della Reese played the character of Vera, and the late great Red Fox played the character of Benny. And Mr. Eddie Murphy is still alive and well. He played the character of Quick. And Quick and Vera got into a misunderstanding, and Miss Vera said, "Me and you got to step out back." And they went out back to square off and to resolve the issue. And at the end of it all, Benny looked at Quick and said, "Vera whooped your ass. And if you didn't have that gun, she'd still be whipping your ass." And not trying to make humor out of what happened, but that's what I have to say to Papa and son McMichael. Papa McMichael, Ahmaud whooped your behind. And if it wasn't for your guns and your coward son and his gun, Ahmaud would still be whooping your behind. And that will outlast any sentence that you receive, whether you receive a conviction or a sentencing or not. That fact right there will outlive that. You will have to carry that to your grave. Because if it wasn't for those guns that you and your coward son had, you will still be getting your behind whooped, because you had no business jumping in your vehicle and running down a young man simply on what you suspected or what you conjured in your mind. So that's what I have to say about it. Because the Bible hasn't been proved wrong yet. What a man soweth, he will reap. He will reap. But we have to remember as believers that Jesus died for us all. Whether they accept it or not, he did. And where sin abounds, grace much more abounds. So I'm going to protect my peace about it, because I was really in a very bad place yesterday, and I see that they have been arrested, which I'm waiting on a conviction and an actual sentence. I'm still not going to celebrate yet, because they should have been arrested back in February. But I'm going to protect my peace and trust in the Lord. And that's not being foolish, because we don't have any control over what happened. We can't go back to February. We can't control what happens. We just have to trust and believe and keep our mind fixed on the things of God, and keep our mind fixed on his promises. And his word says that he hates hands that shed innocent blood. And I'm going to trust and believe on that. And to protect you all's peace, I would advise you all do the same. Good evening, T. Arlone, T. Frog. How you doing? Protect your peace and trust what God said. We are believers. For the ones who are not believers, come to Christ. Come to Christ. Bring it to the altar. Bring your anguish. Bring your frustration. Bring your pain. Bring it to the cross. Because he's real and he loves us all. And there's nothing you can do to separate yourself from God's love. But times like this, these are triggering times for us, especially as people of color, especially the indigenous people of this earth, the copper-colored people. This is just triggering for us. When will it end? When will it end? I saw evil. That's what I saw. And evil does not have a color. Evil does not have a creed. Evil does not have a race. Evil is evil. And what I saw was evil. You all have a blessed evening. Cry if you need to cry. And say prayers for the family. Send love, comforting prayers. Send good energy to the family. But that's my word on it. That's just what I have to say about it. This is my release. And I hope and pray that this video helps somebody. Help somebody deal with with the turmoil that they have going on inside, because I was troubled. And I had to release it, because a part of me didn't want to hear, oh well, everybody ain't racist, or just a part of me didn't want to hear that. Evil is evil, and what happened on that video was evil. Take the white men out of it. Take that fact that Ahmaud was a beautiful, beautiful black man. Take all that out of it. It was evil. Evil in action is what it was. But the God we serve don't sleep. He don't miss a beat. But we have to open ourselves up, and we have to open up the atmosphere for him to come in and do what he needs to do. But I pray for peace for Ahmaud's family. I cried with you. I shed a tear with you. I did. Because we have sons, we have brothers, we have uncles, we have nephews, we have cousins. And that could have been any of our loved ones. You all have a blessed evening. Bring it to the cross. Give it to Jesus.